Sean, overeating, like we were talking about, overeating is a addiction. How do you overcome that addiction?
Yeah, I mean, overeating might be one of the hardest ones. I think right now in society, it's food and phones are the two substances that are abused the most because they're readily available. They're not as taboo as drugs. And there's a really good book everyone should read, Dopamine Nation by Anna Lembecki, that talks about the neurochemistry in your brain when you're doing things that have a really high like stimulus, like your dopamine's through the roof and you become addicted to that behavior or action. So everyone should read that just to understand what's actually taking place on a chemical level. But I think for most people, it's something from the past that they haven't dealt with. Most people that are in addiction with drugs, it's trauma, it's shame, it's guilt. It's something from childhood where they didn't get love from their parents, and they're masking that pain by numbing themselves. So for me, when I got sober, I had to forgive my parents for all the things I hated them for. And I literally remember I was just writing a letter home in my jail cell to my parents, just forgiving them. And at that point, I did it because I didn't want them to self-destruct further and blame themselves. Like I was worried they were going to die when I was in jail.
Right.
But when I was writing them these letters of forgiveness, I was writing out all the things I'd never talked about. Like publicly or out loud, I never spoke about that stuff. It was just bottled up inside of me. And I remember just feeling this huge release of emotion. And I remember finally going, man, I faced it. I admitted that stuff happened. And for me, that was a huge release. And you see a lot of people that are overeating or using whatever substance to numb themselves, to check out. And there's always an element of masking pain. You know, there's some denial there. So you might have to forgive someone, you know, you might have to forgive yourself, or I don't know, some people talk to a therapist, right? And open up and share your life story and just get all that emotion out of you. I think most people, that's what's taking place. The food thing is hard though. If you're addicted to food and you're overweight, like don't have the food at home. You know, and you want to start replacing that behavior with something that's constructive. For me, exercise saved my life because I would do a bunch of burpees and just push-ups until I couldn't get up off the floor and I'm sweating and I'm dying. And I'd get like this endorphin rush and I felt really good about myself. And I was replacing one addiction essentially with another. Just this new addiction was constructive. It got me healthier, better mindset, more self-confidence over time. And that's really what worked for me. But I think for most people, you have to be able to heal, have a plan for how you're going to overcome that addiction, but then strive to replace it with something more constructive. And like, you probably don't want to hang out with people that are doing the stuff that you were doing. You have to change a lot, you know, new environment, and really focus on personal growth. That's going to pull you away from that old life.
People in general have an aversion to things that are difficult.
Yeah, there's something about doing something very physically challenging that can unlock superpowers in human beings. Like you see all these people that go and run ultra marathons, or I did an Ironman, right?
You did an Ironman?
Yeah, I did an Ironman, and then I was training to do an ultra marathon in Zion, Utah, and I tore my meniscus a month before. And I ended up going out there and trying to do it anyway, and at mile 30, my leg locked up.
Oh my God.
But my brother ran the whole thing, and he had only run 20-something miles before that. So it was like a big win for him.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know, man. For guys, if you're a guy out there and you're struggling with addiction and you want to break it, fitness or being physically active, whether it's martial arts, running, weightlifting, that habit can change your whole life. Yeah, and you just take the anger, the frustration, or whatever it is you're experiencing in your life and channel it into those lifts, those moments of exercise. It'll change your neurochemistry, man, and over time, your identity, right? And like, I'm a fitness guy now. Back then, I was a drug addict. I don't identify as a drug addict anymore. Yeah. Because I've changed.
The identity changed.
I've changed over time.
I think that is a very interesting point, which is your addiction is not you. It is, I mean, you tell me if I'm saying, but it's outside of you. Like you can say like, all right, it's not, the addiction doesn't own me. Yeah. It's something that's here that I give into, but it's not my identity.
No, 100%. That's a really good distinction, you know, and I stopped going to like AA a long time ago because you go into those meetings and you could be sober 20 years. And when you want to speak, you go, my name's Sean, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, Dad, I've been sober 14 years. I'm not an addict. I reprogrammed my brain. Like I never craved drugs and alcohol ever since I turned my life over to God and committed to a life of sobriety. Never. And because I've changed, I've evolved, you know? And so, yeah, the addiction it's a choice and it's a momentary, it's a moment of weakness that you give into.